Shalom, shalom, Israel, priest and Captain Soccer War coming to y'all live from Memphis, Tennessee. I know normally I don't teach classes on Thursday. I've been down for the last week. There's been a lot of things going on in the world. Commanding General Yohana taught class from Chicago last night. General Muhammad's teaching class from headquarters tonight. But I wanted to just go live very briefly to just go over a couple scriptures. With all the things that's going on, well, first and foremost, Prison Captain Soccer War coming to y'all live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2025, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who they are, where they come from, and what their purpose is on the earth. And what we like to do with these classes is allow brothers and sisters to go into this book called the Bible to gain a knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has placed therein in order for us to come back to being the people that the Most High called us to be so that we can reclaim our righteous place on the earth as kings, priests, princesses, and daughters of Zion. As I was saying, man, I wanted to go live real quick. With all the things that's going on in this country and in the world, with all of the things that were once hidden that are now being brought to light, uh, the fear and the angst and the unsurety is palpable, to say the least. Just being down here in Memphis and talking to brothers and sisters on the slavery and on the job, it's like a lot of our people are now becoming aware of just how clear and present the danger is that faces us as a people. And I'm thankful for the Most High uh, to now be allowing for those brothers and sisters to be able to see the truth. I just have a fear that for so many of our brothers and sisters, it's too late. For a long time, there's been a lot of propaganda that's been pushed on Black people, Hispanics, Native Indians, that the oppressor who runs this country was somehow changed or different in this generation. With Barack Obama, we were taught that we were living in a post-racial society, a post-racial era in America, and that things that were going on in this country were, so much better. We were spoon-fed the lies about the civil rights movement and men like Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and, all these different Black leaders that have been propped up before us to really pacify us and to really sell us the dream that somehow, we had arrived in this country. But the Most High is true to His word in that um, you cannot change who and what you are. And the oppressor in this place was made to be the oppressor. In every generation that he's been on the earth, and since the beginning of time that he's lived, he's been the wicked. He's been the devil that the Bible speaks of. At the same time, we have been the Lord's chosen people who have run from what it is that He requires of us. And in every generation, it's caught up to us. The Bible is a book that is a compilation of records that provides evidence of the children of Israel being called by the Lord to be a people who stand for something, who live their lives a certain kind of way, who are an example to the rest of the earth of what uh, the Most High meant for us to do with our lives. And in every generation, we've turned our backs on the Lord and not did what He said to do and suffered the consequences of it. Uh, but since 1969, the Lord has provided an opportunity for the brothers and sisters of this generation to learn the truth and to turn back to Him and to truly um, have a place where we can learn to be the best version of ourselves, or we could learn to put our sins away and learn to, learn what it means to be a man of God or be a woman of God, or pattern ourselves after the spirit that the Most High gave us, to separate ourselves and to, truly be a people that um, is above all others that are on the face of the earth. But at every turn, um, for a lot of us, that opportunity has been thwarted. But in this day and time that we're in now, those brothers and sisters who the Lord has given the opportunity to stand for righteousness, uh, if you take it, there's a wonderful blessing in being under the Lord's protection and being under His guidance. But then there's also a great trouble that comes with having to watch all the people who suffer for not being under that protection and for not having that guidance. All right, so a couple of scriptures I just wanted to get into. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. I remember, man, I came into the truth some years ago now, and I was a very young man in terms of my age and my experience and my knowledge of the world and how things worked. But the one thing I will say that I did know was that, our oppressor was absolutely evil and wicked, and that in the Bible, all the scriptures concerning the last days, I felt like we were living in them. And I thank the Most High that my realization of that is what drove me into the truth. When I came into the truth, I learned how to channel anger. I learned what to do with the frustration of what this world does to a black man, does to a Latino man, Hispanic man. And I just remember being so refreshed and learning that there was nothing wrong with me being angry. There was nothing wrong with me being mad. There was nothing wrong with me looking at the world in the way it was and saying, you know, this is effed up. It shouldn't be this way. Um, and in my years having been in the truth, I've encountered a lot of people that ask this question of, why you so mad? Why y'all so angry? Why y'all out there on the streets yelling, man? Why y'all, telling women that they shouldn't be aborting their babies or shouldn't be hoes? Why y'all out there telling, calling these people the devil and telling folks to get out of the church and, telling folks to not get high and this and that? And the reason was because we saw what the consequences of following those things were doing to our people. We saw that all of the religions and the belief systems and the drug addiction and the promiscuity among the women, it was all more oppression being put on us. It was all driving us into a hole that benefited our oppressor and drove and took us away from the Most High. But I believe that now we're in a time where everything that we've been saying since 1969 on the streets is being realized, from the greatest among us to even the least among us. There was a time where if you was rich and black in this country, rich and Hispanic in this country, nobody could tell you anything because you had wealth, you had money. But now you're seeing that don't even mean anything because your wealth and your money can't provide you asylum from the American government. It can't provide you asylum from a people who are hell bent on your destruction and on demonizing you and you know uh, showing the world that your life doesn't mean anything. And what we're seeing right now with the government and ICE and the dealings with the Hispanics and the Native American Indians, it's what this generation hasn't really experienced for black people, but it's coming there. And when it comes, as it's coming right now, a lot of people are beginning to be angry, as we always have been. And I think now they're understanding this scripture here. Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, surely oppression makes a wise man mad. You understand? Surely oppression makes a wise man mad. Don't ever fix your lips to ask me why I'm angry. Don't ever fix your face to say, why, what's wrong with y'all, man? Why y'all out there yelling? Don't you see what the fuck is going on right now? Don't you see what the devil is doing to our people? Don't you see the pain and the hurt and the savagery that is coming our way? We're mad because we see the oppression of our people. We see what these devils are doing and what their plans are for us. And it's absolutely infuriating. It's absolutely, could drive you insane. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad. If you aren't mad right now in 2027, me too, goddamn. Hey, look at me in the future, 2025. If you ain't mad right now, you have no wisdom. If you aren't angry about what's happening to these Hispanics and these Latinos and these Puerto Ricans and these Dominicans and these Haitians and these Jamaicans and Trinidadians and these Guatemalans and El Salvadorians and these Costa Ricans, then you are absolutely unwise. You don't have no knowledge, no understanding in you at all. And you cried for Palestine. You wanted to free Palestine so bad. You put French flags on your page when they was going through what they was going through. But now it's happening to our brothers and sisters, and you turn a blind eye. Now it's happening to our brothers and sisters, and you acting like, yeah, well, they are illegals. Shame on you. Shame on you for not having any wisdom. When we've had wisdom since 1969, thanks to the Most High and the spirit of our King Yahushua, who the world calls Christ. And I thank the Most High for Commander General Yohana for holding on to the truth that was given to him many, many years ago, because it allowed a brother like me, in the midst of my anger and my frustration with the world, to learn that it was wisdom. It was wise to see what was happening and to be angry about it. And I thank the Most High for sharing that wisdom with more brothers and sisters. Let's keep reading Ecclesiastes 7:7 in the second half. It says, and a gift destroyeth the heart. What takes away the anger? What takes away the madness of someone who's wise to see the oppression? Being given an opportunity to sell out. Being given a promise of protection and security if only you'll shut your mouth and don't say nothing. You better be quiet. And that's what's happening right now. There's a lot of people that seeing what's happening and they can't say nothing because you know what? If they say something, they'll lose their gift. So they got to suck up their anger. They got to suck up their sadness and their frustration. They got to see what's happening and pretend like they don't. Why? Because they accepted their gift. I thank the Most High for, living check to check, for making just enough to pay my bills. Because there ain't nothing they could take from me that they ain't already took. I ain't got nothing to lose. So I have no choice but to serve the Lord. There's a lot of brothers and sisters, they feel like they have something to lose. And if they lose it, they ain't got nowhere to turn to. That's oppression. That should make you mad. You understand? Let's drop that. Let me go ahead and get hold on. Get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. No, hold up. You know what? One more scripture. Hold up. Hold up. Because there is let's get Ecclesiastes 1 and 18. If there's any catch to being in the truth in these days and times, it's you brothers and sisters, is necessary for us to prepare ourselves for the grief and the sorrow that we are going to face, seeing what is befalling our brothers and sisters who do not have that wisdom, who have accepted that gift and who don't have the truth and the brotherhood and the protection of the Most High that He's granted us. You understand? It's Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 18. It says, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. We're living in a time where the knowledge of the truth is increasing. The wisdom and knowing how to move and what to do and what not to do and where to go and where not to go and where you're safe and where you're not safe. Man, it's increasing. The truth is growing. Brothers and sisters are waking up. At the same time, how sad can you be for someone who can't see it? How much grief does it give you to watch our people suffer, not knowing the truth, not knowing where to turn, not knowing that you got to come out of that church and you got to truly give your life to the Most High. You got to stop celebrating these holidays and eating that pork and smoking that weed and having sex with these hoes and aborting those babies and living these sexually deviant lifestyles. But our people, they won't hear. They can't see that that's what's destroying them. And what this oppressor is about to do is going to be absolutely heinous. It's going to be absolutely atrocious. It's going to be absolutely, you know, uh, just the most horrible, unimaginable evil that you could think of is what they have planned. And for some of us, we're gonna have to see it and watch it. And with all the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding of the Most High that we have, it is going to fill you with sorrow and grief to see so many people suffer because they actually believed that the oppressor was not the devil that the Bible speaks of. Let me keep going. Let's drop that. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. Because what we have to acknowledge and accept is that for many years in this country, uh, following in our oppressor's footsteps, there's a portion of our society that is every bit as evil and wicked and disgusting and abominable as our oppressor portrays it to be. Even though they're the ones who are behind it, our oppressor crafted a culture for black people, a culture of criminality, a culture of drug addiction, a culture of dysfunctional relationships, a culture of broken homes, a culture of disregarding one's life, a culture of poverty and clawing and scratching and killing and stepping over top of one another for crumbs. They created those circumstances and created that culture. But in the midst of it, a lot of our people have shined in it. They've championed being exactly what the devil wanted them to be. They've championed being exactly what our oppressor wanted them to be. And so a lot of the pain and a lot of the hurt and a lot of the death and a lot of the cruelty that we are going to witness, the people who are suffering it are not innocent. They have been deviant. They have been drug addicts. They have been against the Lord. A lot of our people who willingly are against the Most High. I watched Captain Tazaryak, man, do these battles and go on these interviews, and it's baffling to watch him break these scriptures down. But in their pride and in their wickedness and in their refusal to accept the truth, these people will laugh and battle and try to, contort and twist the scriptures and stick with that same old Christian game that they've been running for generations on our people, all to justify them having an interracial relationship, just to justify them having a sexual deviant lifestyle, just to justify them still getting high and smoking weed and popping pills and doing all manner of abominable things. And it's like, when it comes for you, I'm not gonna feel bad for you. You deserve it. You aligned with the oppressor. You went out there and told our people to go vote for these folks and to trust in them. There's some people right now on the internet, they saying, yeah, it's good what's happening. Man, it's about time the government got serious about cracking down on these folks. When the sword comes for them, no one is going to feel bad for them. No one is going to feel sorry for them. In the spirit of the Lord, it's going to be, that's exactly what you get. You're getting what you deserve. And it's important to understand that the righteous don't suffer in the same way the unrighteous do. And it's hard to convey to people in the world that don't understand the truth that Even though you might think you a good person, you ain't innocent in the Lord's eyes. You're absolutely disgusting. You're evil. You're a sinner. You're wicked. And there's no portion in the Lord for someone who is wicked, whether you knew it or not. Whether you know you're wicked or not, whether you could have been raised in church your whole life and never was taught the truth. Does that mean the Lord ain't gonna deal with you for your sin? No. Now, I will say that the blood of all of those people who die in their wickedness is on the hands of those leaders. It's on the hands of the people who were in positions to know the truth, to teach our people better. And they chose to side with the devil. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody's going to feel sorry for. Nobody's going to feel bad for them. You understand? Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. The Most High prophesied to the children of Israel in the time when we were coming out of captivity that if we ever turned our back on the Lord, if we ever disobeyed him, if we ever allowed ourselves to adopt a culture that was contrary to the laws and the righteousness that the Most High established, that we would suffer for it. And we've been suffering for it in every generation that we've been on this earth. And we've suffered in this generation. And it's ramping up to a climax that is of biblical proportions. But I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. It says, a nation of fierce countenance. Let me read verse 49. Deuteronomy 28 and 49 says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. That's the oppressor. That's the America. That's the government and the bald eagle and pride and law and order and all of these dog whistles and buzzwords that they love to use. The Lord said he was going to send a people against us of a fierce countenance, a cruel, evil, scary people. If you ain't scared, if you're not in the truth and you're not afraid about what's going on in this country and what's taking place, you're dead. There's no life in you. Salaki, you're unalived. I don't know, whatever. You're in a bad spot. If you're seeing everything that's going on and you still just like, you know, not taking it seriously, it's like, man, I feel for you. I have pity on you. Verse 50, Deuteronomy 28:50. A nation of a fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Like the evil and the cruelty and the horrors that we are going to witness, there will be no partiality. There will not be any respecters of persons. The devil is the devil. The thief is the thief. The unaliver is the unaliver, and their true nature is about to be on full display for everybody to see. And a lot of people are not prepared for what it is that's about to take place. Two more scriptures, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop it. Get off this. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 65 says, "And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life." And those are the curses that are presently befalling the children of Israel who have not turned to the Most High, who have not chosen to obey him, who have not chosen to accept that we are his people and he is our God, our power. And the only way that we can have him to be on our side to protect us and to watch over us and to deliver us is if we do what he said to do. A lot of our people are still putting their trust in Egypt, putting their trust in America. A lot of our people are putting their trust in, if I just, speak English good enough, if I just get enough education, if I just say enough of the right things, if I just follow enough of America's laws, if I just, follow the blueprint that they've laid out for me, that somehow I'm going to be okay. I know these other people might suffer, but I'm going to be okay. Nah, it's not going to be okay for none of y'all. Not going to be okay for none of us. The only way that you're going to be able to survive in these days that are coming is if you obey the Lord. The only way you're going to be able to make it out unscathed is if you turn and face the Lord. And there's things that are coming that are going to challenge a lot of brothers and sisters' faith. It's going to challenge a lot of brothers and sisters' fortitude. The time is coming where the Lord going to show if you serious or not. The Lord is going to show, if you really about what you say you about. If you took that oath seriously when that oil was poured on your head and you was given that Hebrew name. At the same time, the truth is going to grow. The truth is going to spread. As as things get more evil and more cruel, and the oppressor comes down on our people harder, the Lord is going to magnify the truth. The Lord is going to expose them to the world for being who He said they were, and that's going to cause them to turn their gaze on the truth. And persecution, like it took place during the days of Christ, is going to come, and you're going to have to stand with the Lord. You're gonna have to trust in Him. You got to have the trust and the faith, that Elijah had in the midst of the famine. You're gonna have to be in the days of Revelations when the wheat and the barley is, the prices are sky high, and you're gonna have to trust and depend on the Most High to provide. You understand? When we went into the wilderness, man, the Lord made manna fall from heaven. When Christ was out there with the multitude, He fed 5,000 with 3 fish and 5 loaves of bread. We in those days. Those days are coming. Your healing gonna come from men of the Lord. It ain't gonna come from the doctor's office. It ain't gonna come from, your insurance being able to pay for this and pay for that. But yeah, the Most High is bringing all of these things to pass. He's letting it be known that the words that the men of the ISUPK have been speaking on the streets since 1969 were the truth. For a lot of y'all wonder why we were so angry, why we were so mad, why we were so passionate about this book and about, being against people's religion and not letting people just live comfortably in their little bubbles. Well, now you see it. Lord allow, for some of you, it's not too late. And with that, Shalom. Priest and Captain Soccer Ward, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2025, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. With that, Shalom.